Hello everyone, I'm your host Edith Thomas from Union TV, and today we are here at the Around the U in the cafe. Next to me I have someone so brilliant, so amazing, you may have seen him before, Dr. Gerry Benaquista. Thank you so much for joining us.
And thank you for having me on, and thank you for being here.
Of course,
this
we
is
orchestrated
awesome.
all this just because of you, and I can't wait to let the people know who's Gerry. So let's get started. Why don't you give me a little bit about your professional background?
So I'm Gerry Benaquista. I started in Union back in 2000 as a special education teacher. From there, I became an administrator. I was a vice principal at the high school for about 7 years. And then central office asked me to come up, and I was the director of human resources, HR, personnel. And then from there, I became assistant superintendent. And now I am very blessed to be the superintendent for the Township of Union Board of Ed.
That you are. Why do you think you chose the field of education, this path?
You know, it's funny. I didn't choose it from high school.
Okay. What were you thinking about
Didn't
before?
know. I got a degree in public administration.
Okay.
Again, didn't know after I graduated what I wanted to do. I went back to my lacrosse coach asked me to come and coach with him. So then I started working with kids, and right away knew something was different. And then researched, and found a special ed program, which got my master's and my teaching cert. And then, 24, almost 30 years later, I think in education, here we are. So it's funny that, I wasn't the person that, here I am as the superintendent, but didn't know I wanted to be a teacher up front, which is great today because the state started a new certification program to allow people that years ago, like myself, but had to go a longer route, couldn't get a job until I had the cert. Today the state has a program now where if you say have a degree in science but not teaching, they'll let you get a job right away. And
really?
We're one of the districts in Union County that applied. So we could accept, it's called limited CEs, to allow people that want to get into education, maybe didn't think. And then while they're employed, they do go back to school for the education courses, just opening up more opportunities. And in education, we have a lot of very good, successful teachers and educators that didn't start as a teacher or educator, didn't know in the beginning. But it's about those relationships with the students.
Definitely.
And if you have that personality to build those relationships where the teachers and students trust each other and the students look up to the teacher, I think academically the students are going to grow at a phenomenal rate.
Yeah, I think that's awesome, and I can attest to that because just seeing you here, like you said, you didn't start off in that route, and now look at you. So let's speak on that. How long has it been? Little less than a year that you've now been the superintendent. What's the experience been like?
I mean, I've been up at central office since 2015, and I do feel like I've been involved in almost everything. That, I don't really think about it as now I'm in as the superintendent. It obviously is a lot more responsibility. There's a lot more that I get involved in at a deeper level. But to me, being in Union this whole time has almost kind of just organically became where it is today, where I come to work knowing that we have things to accomplish, but I don't look at it as like a job where you get up in the morning and some people you hear they're coming to work but they're not excited. This is exciting. I get to talk to a lot of educators, community, students, so it's always changing.
Definitely.
Even though you're busy and you look back on your day and you had tons of meetings and you were doing a ton of things and supporting, the days go quick. There's some long nights, but it's exciting.
Because you're getting the job done.
Yeah.
Exactly. I love that. So, and that speaks volumes, by the way. But let's touch on the town. You talked about being in the town for years. What is the collaboration like with the Township of Union?
I mean, it's amazing. I couldn't be more thankful for the support of the township and legislation locally. I feel like everyone kind of sees the needs of our district, where we're at, and everyone's working together to get us there. We've gotten over the last 2 years big strides fiscally. We still have to do some things improve practices and make sure that we're spending the dollars, the fiscal side of education wisely to make sure we're providing the right and needed support for the students. So I have to say, whether it be safety, security, budgeting, my thing is transparency. So I've already set up many meetings where the township and us kind of collaborate on where the school district's at. So they're fully aware of, what our needs are, what as far as things we're thinking about for the future. Because it needs to be, when you're going to make a big sustained change, it has to be the full community involved. So I think it's very important, the local township, as well as organizations within the township, as well as parent groups. But we have to the decisions have to be by listening to our students. I get a lot out of coming and I meet with students in my group, but also other people's, I joined in on some other groups that teachers or counselors hold. And it's really listening to the students that give me a lot of ideas of what is needed. So some of our summer programs coming up this summer, early on in the year, I met with students, and a student said, why can't we provide summer programs for our younger children?
Oh, wow.
So there's, I think, 6 summer programs this summer that we're going to offer that's going to be led by our high school students.
That's amazing.
So that was one thing that came up, and they have some amazing ideas. Next year, we're going to look at, instead of seniors being in homerooms with seniors, trying to do where they're broken up into freshman and sophomore homerooms as like that class mentor, to be able to share the news of the school, as well as, be there to help with homework, advice. So almost like a peer mentorship kind of thing. And it'll be daily because it's homeroom. The students, talking to them, they joke where, the announcements sometimes after a while, they're not listening because it's daily. So that small group interaction where they could help a younger peer that, because they've been through it, I think is another initiative that next year, and it came from our students. They know what's needed to be successful.
Definitely, and I absolutely love that, because I sat down with our valedictorian, our salutator, and it's literally your words coming from their mouths. She gave advice for our freshmen, and I think that peer-to-peer communication is literally what's going to hit it on the nail. She gave great advice for upcoming freshmen, and the initiative of having freshmen and the sophomores mentoring, I could see that going far.
And you know what? If 50% learn from those conversations, that's 50% less that hit that roadblock.
Yep.
That needed to now get through that. So we just got to keep trying and being creative.
I love that. So tell me, we've already seen a lot that you have done. What exciting programs and new initiatives are you thinking about for the next year?
Yeah, it's just like this. It's so like this. I share a lot, and I say a lot of things about what I would love to see happen. This is obviously one of the things I was so excited about. Because it gives an opportunity for our kids to do community-based in-house. It gives an opportunity for our kids to, mesh together and get to know each other that maybe they couldn't before. And I'm looking, I again, just mention things to see if people run with them. And Ms. Cohn, who kind of fostered this, one of the things in the high school I would like to try to get established is another community-based opportunity, but like our copy room into more of what you see today in the community, like a UPS store or a store where the kids are learning those things too. So when they go out in the community and get a job, they're already advanced. So that's one of the things. We are, 2 of my goals coming into the year as interim was to focus on safety and security. That will continue. I do believe that the students need to come to school feeling safe, especially with what has gone on in the country, over the years.
Yes.
We want to keep doing more and more on making sure that the students are safe. So earlier this year, I sent a letter out about school violence. Prior to the school year, we've had some incidents. It gets out into the community. It's not a good reflection of the school. It's not really. Those single events aren't what Union's about. But we're making sure that we're holding everyone more accountable. I'm having more conversations with parents in my office. We've had some even discipline hearings with the board, because we got to send a message that school violence is not going to be tolerated. We have to work with the kids on finding other ways to work out their differences. And again, I just want to make sure everyone's aware. It's not what you see on a daily basis. There's highlights that get shared into the community, and I think it's a small picture of maybe what people now are thinking is happening. But do we have ways to improve? Absolutely. We have issues. Every school in this country has issues to keep make sure they're educating their students on and improving. But it's going to be about community, parents, making sure they're supporting the schools with the stuff that they need to change to really impact the students in a positive way. That was one of the big goals I was focusing on. The other one is literacy in our district.
Okay.
For years I felt like we weren't doing enough. Without hard data, we see that our students, a percentage of our students are grade levels behind when they are approaching middle school. So with that, I've really been working with our curriculum team to pilot different ELA programs that are backed in the science of reading, as well as we want to come up within our schedule next year at the elementary school, embedding daily literacy for all our kids.
Yeah.
So, as far as even a student that's on grade level, we could keep improving and push higher. But just hopefully by doing it daily with right resources, our students, number one, from the K to like 3 level will not fall behind any further. And then with that, we're also looking at a possible different schedule in the middle school next year that will just create more opportunity for intervention for the students. So it could be intervention for a student that's grade levels behind, but it could also be intervention for our honors or upper level kids that have interest in, say, the music arts, to also have more time to grow academically. But we have to create that in the schedule to provide opportunities. We're working on that now. We're hoping that next year that's in place. So then I feel like if we could give the foundation back to the students where they're not falling behind, and then catch up the students that might be behind, we will now have a comprehensive game plan to make sure our students are growing academically. So I think any sustained change is going to take 3 to 5 years. So I do think in 3 to 5 years, with us consistently bringing a research-based program to our district, will help the kids not just grow, but now you're going to start seeing an impact on that standardized test, as well as throughout all their academics. I do think even with math, literacy, and a child being able to understand what they're reading and applying it is so important, because nowadays a lot of the math courses, or really any of our cross-curricular, all of them, you need to know and have a strong foundation in reading. So that's one of the other big initiatives that I was focusing on, again, as interim.
I love that. Gerry, we've seen it all. We've seen you partner with the town. We've seen you put in these new initiatives. We've seen right here where we are in the cafe. And I love it, the work that you've been doing and the work that you're going to continue to do. We've heard it here from you today. So one last message. What would you give to our audience watching? What's your mission? What's one of your goals that you want to leave us off with?
Well, around our school district early in the year, in my opening speech, I talked about every student every day. We need to, as a whole school community, focus on what the needs are of students every day, every student. And they're different. So, you have kids coming in with different needs every day, whether it be just something happening in a relationship, something happening at home. As educators, we need to, that's why the relationship's so important. Because if a teacher and a student, if an administrator and a student, a guidance counselor and a student have a strong relationship, that student's going to open up to that teacher, and then we will be able to really get them the help they need. So we can't expect everything every day. Every student that walks in everything's going to be perfect. So the relationships, and research shows the relationship has one of the biggest impacts on a student's success. So, you know, early in the year, I spoke about that, and we want to stick to it moving forward. And then, you know, recently I met with a prior graduate that's coming back, and you know, he shared his success. But one of the things he's also working on is he wrote a song. He's creating a video now, and it really hit home with me because we have so many kids that graduate from this township and do such amazing things, and we sometimes don't hear about it unless they come back. So we have to do a better job of really keeping in touch with our graduates. Have them ask them if they would like to give back, because most of them would. This young man is going to be shooting a video, and he asked for permission to shoot it around within the high school as well as our athletic fields and around the school, which meant so much to me because this meant so much to him, and he didn't forget it, and now it's how many years later. And it's just something that I think says a lot about our community.
It does. And
his song is No Regret, and it just hit home with me because I hope nobody has any regrets leaving this district as a graduate, because it is such an amazing place.
I absolutely love that. And one thing I will say, you don't get to see it, but I definitely do as a host for Union TV. I have so many UHS alumni that reach out. So the Foreman brothers, they're Tapp brothers that graduated right in these hallways they're from, and they're on to do amazing things. One of your speakers, he's an author, two-time book writer. He came, sat down in my very chair. So we see it. We definitely see it, and I think we do appreciate it. But Doctor, you're amazing. I think everyone sees that here. And thank you so much for sitting down and letting us get to know you.
And I do appreciate everything you do, not just helping us, but I do keep track of all those interesting things you do in the community, and I think it's just awesome.
Thank you so much. Well, we're gonna bump into each other one time or another. Don't worry. With all the events and the initiatives that you got planned, we'll see each other again soon.
Excellent.
So thank you so much for sitting down with us. And everyone watching, thank you. We're going to welcome you back to another great episode of Around the U in the Cafe. And thank you so much, Dr. Gerry Benaquista, for joining us.
Thank you so much.
We'll catch you guys next time.